All right, man, let's react to these NFL games today. I just wanted to chop it down in one video because neither one of the games was competitive, but the latter of the two, Tennessee beating Baltimore, was the talk of the town. But let's start off in by area with the 49ers easily defeating the Vikings from Minnesota. But we back, Goodfellas Sports TV. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love and support, man. Check out our NFL playlist for more videos like this. And I watched all of this game, all of the last game. Basically, the offense of the Minnesota Vikings had no creativity, and Kirk Cousins had nothing to lean on. When Dalvin Cook ain't running well, Kirk Cousins can't win you a game because that sucks the defense in and opens up the passing lane. And Kirk Cousins, he made one good throw. Really, he made an okay throw. Stephon Diggs made an amazing catch. And Adam Thielen had injured his ankle. He had pierced his ankle or something, or cut his ankle. So he was out there, half butting around. But 49ers too much. Garoppolo didn't have to do much at all. Defense made turnovers. Running game was cooking. Tevin Coleman, he was the running back of choice today. And it's always tough playing fantasy with the 49ers running back because you don't know who's going to have a high hand or who's going to get the opportunity. But the Minnesota Vikings front for the offensive line, they couldn't handle Bosa, Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, D Ford. The 49ers just too good up front. And then on the back end, Jimmy Ward, loved him when he came out the draft, man. Richard Sherman made some big plays, and they just talented, man. They built the right way. John Lynch built that team from the trenches on out. Offensively, offensive line is still nice. They can run block. They can pass block. Jimmy Garoppolo don't have to go out there and win a game. And quite frankly, he don't have the receivers to win the game. You know what I'm saying? But his receivers are okay. But he don't have that big number one like Julio or Calvin Johnson or DeAndre Hopkins. But, his receivers get the job done. Even a guy like Pettis is supposed to come in this year and be big. He hasn't. It's been Deebo Samuels. And it's been, George Kittles, which he was quiet today. But shout out to the middle linebacker from Minnesota. They got two underrated players, Danielle Hunter and Eric Kendricks, the middle linebacker out of UCLA. Loved him coming out the draft. He made some big plays. Minnesota defense, they played well enough to win. The offense they couldn't get nothing going. When your offense is turning it over, going 3 and out, it wears on the defense. No matter if it's the monsters of the Midway or it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Derrick Brooks and Warren Sapp and those old Ray Lewis defenses, or the Seattle defense that won the Super Bowl. It don't matter. If your offense ain't moving the ball and putting drives together, then the fate is going to end up like this. So 49ers won 27-10. It wasn't competitive at all. But let's switch gears over to the Baltimore Ravens in Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee got a really good coach. They got the right cherry off or the right apple off the Belichick tree. Mike Vrabel seems to be the best coach that came out of the New England Patriots organization, especially with a first-year shot. He made the right call. They was like 2-6 or 2-4, and they got Tannehill in there. And Tannehill showed that Miami didn't put a great structure around him. And since being picked up by Tennessee last week, people say basically his highlight was running the ball to Derrick Henry, giving the ball to Derrick Henry. But he made a once in a lifetime throw for a quarterback of his caliber that we thought, a corner route that really sent Tennessee on to the divisional round today. He made some big throws. He made a big throw to a speedy receiver I never heard of, 5'8" guy. He just made some big throws over and over again today. Made another one in the end zone. First one was to Jonnu Smith, the tight end who took over for Delaney Walker since he was injured. He made the once-in-a-lifetime type of catch. And that pretty much, once Tannehill started tossing touchdowns, that opened up the running lane for Derrick Henry. And when you play man defense like the Baltimore Ravens, they got a lot of gamblers in the back end. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Peters going to gamble. Jimmy Smith going to gamble. And at the end of the day, Tannehill and them took advantage of a gambling in the secondary to jump a lot of balls. And Derrick Henry just ran. Last week, Derrick Henry opened up the passing lanes for Ryan Tannehill to win it in the fourth quarter. This week, Tannehill arm opened up the run lanes for Derrick Henry. And once he got running, Baltimore couldn't do nothing with him. He turned Earl Thomas into a blocker. I've never seen a defender get turned into a blocker by the opposing team's running back. And Derrick Henry, he didn't run a touchdown in, I don't believe, but he threw one in to Corey Davis, who, I think he was out of Central Michigan or Western. I think it was Western Michigan. He been a huge disappointment. If he could turn it around, they could be real, real dangerous to A.J. Brown as well too. But Baltimore defense just, they tried to stop the run. They tried to stack the box. And Tannehill, you begged Tannehill to beat you. When Tannehill started beating them, they had to respect the pass. And then Derrick Henry got the running. Now, people want to know Apple Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to end up facing that pressure now of getting over a playoff game. Like Andy Dalton always getting to the first round and never getting over the hump. Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins never getting over the hump in a big game. Now Lamar Jackson going to be facing that pressure coming into the season next year. So, now it's going to be expectations, not the front run in the regular season, but the win. But today he was off accuracy-wise. But they got to get him some bigger receivers, Willie Snead, and he got some nice tight ends and Hollywood Brown. But they got to find him a number one, and he gotta mature past to being an RPO quarterback. He got to sit in the pocket and he got to deliver and go through his progressions, and he'll get better. I'm not worried about him. But tonight, Tennessee just had a great game plan to contain him. They played their passing, they played their lanes really, really well. They lost contain a couple times where he outran the spy, and that's going to happen. But at the end of the day, they got early turnovers. The Mark Andrews pick really turned it around. Benyard got that pick, and they just got turnovers, and the momentum was in Tennessee favor. And when the momentum is in your favor, that's something that's hard to really turn back around, and Baltimore never can get that momentum back. You know what I'm saying? They never can get that momentum back. So credit to Tennessee, man. But today's game, it was just a blowout weekend. Usually the Saturday night game is the blowout game. That's the least competitive game of the weekend. Minnesota and 49ers, that wasn't competitive at all. I don't think nobody really believed, honestly, if you told them to put their left leg on the line, that Kirk Cousins was going to go to the 49er land and win the game. But Lamar Jackson, he got some questions to answer next year. Can he get over the hump in the playoffs? Last year he was on he played Los Angeles Chargers. He came on high at the end. This year he got beat by Tennessee, but Tennessee is a well-coached team. Good defensive front. They got some linebackers that I ain't heard of, but they played their butt off. That long guy played his butt off. Jarrell Casey, he been there for a long time. He played his butt off. And Dory Jackson and Logan Ryan and, Benyard in the back end. They got a good defense. Discipline, well coached. Tennessee going to be a tough out. And don't forget, Tennessee already beat. I believe they already beat Kansas City. All right. I believe they beat Kansas City already this year when my homeboy came off an injury. So I'm not sure how they fared versus Houston this year. But at the end of the day, if Houston win tomorrow, then the AFC South is going to dominate the AFC Championship game. And that's going to be a sight to see. That's a division that people frowned upon once Andrew Luck retired. And now look what you got. Ryan Tannehill. But tomorrow, I think Kansas City is probably going to win. But they favored by 10, as much as 10. I think 10 is too much to give to Kansas City, in my humble opinion. All right, I would take Houston with the under tomorrow. And they just had like a snowstorm there last night, but it should be clear tomorrow. So it should be interesting as we go forward. Then you got brother Russell Wilson taking on Aaron Rodgers, never winning there in Lambeau. So I think most people are going to ride with the Green Bay Packers. But today, it did not live up to the expectations of last week. You know what I'm saying? Last week set the bar really, really high. But tomorrow, we'll see. I think the best game of the day tomorrow is going to be Houston and Kansas City. And I think Russ can make magic in Green Bay. That'll make it a good game. So we'll see what happens. But congratulations to the 49er gang, taking out the Minnesota Vikings 27-10. And Tennessee with the big upset. They looking like a team of destiny, 28-12 over the Baltimore Ravens. And I think they end up beating Kansas City in Tennessee, I think it was. So going to Kansas City is a different ball game. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? That link's in the description. Best way to donate is share the video. And outside of that, man, just keep checking out for me. Share the video. And let me know who you guys got winning tomorrow in the comment section. Kansas City Houston, and then you got Green Bay, Seattle. I think it's the late game. One time for the one time. Goodfella Sports TV. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. We gone.